Good morning, everybody. I hope everything is well with you. I hope that you had a good understanding of section 7-6 of finding the normal form of a line. And then today we're going to learn why that normal form of the line was really useful. And so here we go. So we said that the normal form of a line was x times the cosine of phi plus y times the sine of phi minus p is equal to 0. And what we're going to learn today is that the distance from a point at x1, y1 to a line is just substituting for the x value and substituting for the y value. And so just to remember, this was a shortcut, sorry. If you just take the standard form of the equation, substituting for x and y, and then dividing by plus or minus the square root of a squared plus b squared, making sure that that c and the radical are opposite signs, that'll get you there too. All right. So the distance is going to be positive if the point and the origin are on opposite sides of the line, and the distance is treated as negative if the origin and the point are on the same side of the line. So I wanted to explain to you why you might get a negative answer for distance, but when we are actually looking for the distance itself, we're going to use the absolute value. All right, so let's see what we're talking about here. So in geometry, we talked about the distance from a point to a line, so let's see what that looks like. So the point that we're talking about here is P at 7, 2. So that would be this point right here. Okay. And then here, if we go ahead and put this into slope-intercept form, we would be solving for y. So we would subtract 3x from both sides, and we would add 4 to both sides. And then if we divide everything through by 4, we would get y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 1. So that means that we have a y-intercept at positive 1. Let me do this in red so you can see it better. And we have the slope of negative 3/4. So we would go down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. And we could do that multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we could go in the reverse. We could go up 3 and to the left 4. Up 3 and to the left 4. And so this is the line that we're trying to find the distance between this point P and this line here. So just like if we were a person standing here on a tightrope, we don't want to measure our distance diagonally. We want to measure our distance perpendicularly. That's a long word. And so what we want to do is find the slope that's perpendicular to this line. So here this slope is negative 3/4. So that means the slope of the perpendicular is going to be the opposite reciprocal. Now, if I went up 4 and to the right 3, that's not going to help me get closer to the line. So remember, we can do the opposite of 4 and the opposite of 3 to head towards the line. So if I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 1, 2, 3, that would hit right at this point. And so this black segment would represent the segment that's the shortest segment from that point to the line. And then D would represent the distance from that point to the line. So this hit at 4, negative 2. Okay, so then if I go to find that distance, we can either use Pythagorean theorem or we could use the distance formula. So let's go ahead and use the Pythagorean theorem because it's a little easier. So this is 3, and this has a length of 4. And so we get 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to the distance squared. And so this is 9 plus 16 is equal to d squared, which makes d equal to 5. And so we know that the distance from the point to the line is 5 units. Now, if we do the same exact problem, but we use the normal form, we're going to notice that we get exactly the same answer. So for normal form, we're going to start with 3x plus 4y minus 4 is equal to 0. And so here a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 4. So we're going to do plus or minus the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. And then remember, we want the opposite sign of the negative 4. So in this case, that's going to be positive. So we get the square root of 9 plus 16 gives me the square root of 25. So that's going to be 5. So for normal form, we're going to divide everything through by 5. And so we get 3/5 x plus 4/5 y minus 4/5 is equal to 0. So this p-value of 4/5, that's telling me how far it is from the origin, but it's not telling me how far it is from the point at 7, 2. So we're going to let 7 be our x1 value and let 2 be our y1 value. And we're going to plug that in here. So we're going to say that the distance is equal to 3/5 times 7. That's our x1 value. And 4/5 times 2, that's our y1 value, minus 4/5. So when we do that, the distance is going to be 21/5 plus 8/5 minus 4/5. So if we do 21 plus 8, we get 29. And 29 take away 4 is 25. So we get 25/5 for our distance. And 25/5 happens to be 5. So it may seem like that's a little bit more work than what we did in geometry, but in geometry we would have to get to a perfect point here in order to find that distance. If p moved over 1, then do you see that we no longer hit a perfect point on the line? And so we would need to have a different method to be able to do that. All right, so if we take a look at this, this would be a good time to pause the video if you feel like you have a good understanding and see if you can try this on your own and then replay the video to see how that works. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So the first thing again we need to do is put this into normal form. And so that means that we're going to do the square root of a squared, so a is 5, plus b squared, which is 12. And if you notice, I'm not worrying about that negative on the b, because when I square it, it's going to become positive anyway. So this becomes the square root of 25 plus 144, which is 169. And the square root of 169 is 13. And I forgot to mention this is plus or minus. So we want the opposite sign of the constant. So that means in this case we want the minus there. So it's going to be negative 13 that we divide through by. So we get 5 over negative 13. We get negative 12 over negative 13, 1 over negative 13, and 0 over negative 13. So the normal form of the line is going to be negative 5 over 13x, and then we get plus 12 over 13y, and then we get minus 1 over 13 is equal to 0. And then just to remember, a normal form, that constant has to be negative. If it's not negative, then we divide it by the wrong sign. So we are looking for the distance between that line and this point here at 2, 5. So the distance is going to be negative 5 over 13 times 2 plus 12 over 13 times 5 minus 1 over 13. And so when I when I multiply, we get negative 10 over 13. We get positive 60 over 13 and negative 1 over 13. That's going to be our distance. So negative 10 plus 60 is 50, and 50 minus 1 is 49. So we get the distance is 49 over 13. Now, if we had gone through this and we got something like negative 49 over 13, we would just take the absolute value of that. All right, so then the next question is, what if we want the distance between two parallel lines? And so what you're going to do is pick a line to choose a point on one of the lines. So pick a line and find a point on that line. Then we're going to find the distance from that point to the unused line, because you don't want to use the same line. That distance is going to be 0. And so, get back to my other screen. It would be a question something like this. So we want to find the distance between the two parallel lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this equation 1, and I'm going to call this equation number 2. So for equation number 1, I'm going to go ahead and pick a point. So if I put this into slope-intercept form, let's say we have 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. And then if I divide through by 4, we've got y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 3. And so I know that there is a point P located at 0, 3, because that would be the y-intercept. Now, you could have just said let x equal 1, and what would y equal to? Let x equal 2, and what would y be equal to? But a lot of times people get comfortable with finding that y-intercept. So then what we're going to do is put the second equation into normal form. So one thing that I notice about the second equation is it is not simplified yet. So we're going to go ahead and divide out that common factor of 4 just to make our numbers a little easier. So from equation number 2, we get 3x plus 4y. And I could say equal to 7, but I'm going to say minus 7 is equal to 0. So notice they are parallel because we have the same x coefficient and y coefficient, but we have a different constant over here. So to put this into normal form, we're going to do plus or minus the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. And we want the opposite sign of the negative 7, so we want plus. And if you notice, that again is going to be the square root of 25, which is 5. So we're going to divide everything through by 5. And then we're going to say that the distance, that the normal form is 3/5 x plus 4/5 y minus 7/5 is equal to 0. So this is now the normal form of the line. And then we're going to find the distance between this point that we found on the first line and this normal form of the second line. So we're going to let x be 0. We're going to let y be 3. Oops, it's not equal to 0 anymore. We're looking for that value. So notice 3 times 0 is 0. 4 times 3 is 12. And we get minus 7/5. Oops. And so notice 12 minus 7 is 1. Is 5 over 5 gives us a distance of 1. I got a little ahead of myself. And again, had that ended up negative 1, we would have just taken the absolute value of it. Okay, so coming over here, take a moment. I've got a minute and a half, so we're going to have to see how I get this done. So again, pause, try this one on your own. So in this case, I've got y is equal to 4x plus 1, giving me a point at 0, 1. And then over here, we're going to do the square root, plus or minus the square root of 4 squared plus 1 squared. And we want the opposite sign of the negative 8. So that's going to be positive. And so this is going to be the square root of 17. So if we divide through by that, we get 4 root 17 over 17x minus root 17 over 17y minus 8 root 17 over 17 is equal to 0. So if I substitute the 0, 1, I've got 0 for x. I've got 1 for y. And so we get this answer. So notice this one is 0. And since it's multiplied by 1, we get negative 1 root 17, and negative 8 root 17 gives me negative 9 root 17 over 17. And I want my answer to be positive. So we would take the absolute value of that, and we get 9 root 17 over 17.